Dallas County Sheriff Marion Brown. As you know, a key component of FBI Dallas's strategy to address violent crime is developing and fostering trusting relationships with our community and our law enforcement partners. The FBI's relationship with these two groups is essential to ensuring the FBI has the greatest impact possible in mitigating the violent crime in our neighborhoods here in Dallas and throughout North Texas. Through these partnerships, we bring together intelligence that ultimately enables us to identify, target, disrupt, and dismantle the violent gangs and criminal enterprises responsible for the drug distribution and gun violence impacting our neighbors, our friends, and our families. A perfect example of how these partnerships have worked is through the arrest operation conducted yesterday morning in the city of Dallas. This included over 200 law enforcement agents and officers from the FBI, the Dallas Police Department, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, and other state and local agencies. During this operation, 15 individuals were arrested as a result of a 2-year investigation worked side by side with our FBI Safe Streets Task Force and the Dallas Police Department's gang unit. Those arrested yesterday, coupled with the 19 additional arrests already done, bring the total indicted in this investigation to 34. These federal charges ranged from federal drug conspiracy and drug distribution to firearms violation. These gang leaders and facilitators were responsible for the distribution of narcotics, guns, and even Glock switches, which we know have been historically used on rival gang members, drug competitors, and law enforcement throughout the most violent areas of Dallas and the surrounding communities. During this investigation, together we've already seized 25 firearms, numerous cash, cocaine, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. Here's a map, as you will see, of the locations that were executed arrest and search warrants yesterday. We also have a short video we would like to play that documents this investigation and the takedown from yesterday.
But just to give you a background on this case, about 2 years ago, the Dallas Police Department was putting together their violent crime reduction plan. And what they instituted was a hotspots policing model. Took a lot of crime data, they figured out what the 47 most violent grids in the city of Dallas were, and started targeting them.
It's going to be a long day. I've actually had an opportunity to ride out with these guys last week and kind of tour all the locations and the areas. And, safety is obviously paramount, so be sure that's first and foremost. But with that said, thanks again for stepping up and helping, and stay safe. This operation is a prime example of how the FBI is working to support Chief Garcia and the Dallas Police Department in their violent crime reduction plan and targeting the most violent offenders and gangs located in the city of Dallas. It's not our goal just to put individuals in jail for a few days, but to build cases that cut into the capabilities of these gangs and criminal enterprises, putting the most violent offenders and facilitators behind bars for as long as we possibly can to keep our communities safe. That process is strategic, and it takes time, but the payoffs are immeasurable. Violent crime is down for a third year in a row in the city of Dallas, and this is in no part to the strategy set forth by Chief Garcia and his Dallas Police Department team of leaders. The war is not over by any means. Gun crimes continue and violence continues. However, we are continuing to win the battles, and we are not going to let our foot off the gas. This investigation is just one of many that are ongoing and that will continue in the days and months to come. Now, as I wrap up, I do want to share a quick story with you. Yesterday, at multiple locations, our agents were approached by members of the community, and there were 2 words that were uttered, and that was thank you. That is extremely impactful for us to be able to hear as an agency and know that we're doing the best we can for the communities we serve. That's why we will continue to leverage our task force partnerships to make the greatest impact and leverage federal charges for the most violent offenders. I want to thank the men and women of the FBI, the Dallas Police Department, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, and other law enforcement officers and personnel who work every day, day in, day out, to address violent crime. They put their lives on the line each and every day, and our communities are safer because of their dedication. We are grateful for the sacrifice and hard work to make Dallas and North Texas a safer place. I'll now turn it over to U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Leah Simonton.
Thanks so much, Chad. In June, at our Operation Take Aim press conference, I pledged to you that our office would partner with federal and local law enforcement to zero in on the Metroplex's most violent offenders. Today's announcement represents our follow-through on that pledge. The 15 defendants arrested yesterday are being charged with 16 counts, from possession with intent to distribute cocaine to possession of unregistered firearms. 6 are being charged with possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. That's alarming because, as we know, guns and drugs don't mix. Research shows that drug trafficking and gun violence are highly correlated. Drug dealers often use guns to secure their products, and if they're using drugs as well as trafficking them, they may experience symptoms that increase their propensity to violence. Many of the defendants arrested yesterday have been violent in the past. Some have lengthy rap sheets that include assault, aggravated robbery, arson, deadly conduct with a firearm, and manufacture and delivery of controlled substances. Many were allegedly armed, including one, as SAC Yarbrough mentioned, who carried a Glock switch, a dangerous device that converts a regular automatic weapon into a machine gun capable of continuous fire. We know that violent offenders are highly likely to reoffend. In fact, a study done by the U.S. Sentencing Commission showed that 60% of violent offenders recidivate, and they commit more serious crimes more quickly than non-violent offenders do. Those who fall in the very highest criminal history category, meaning they've committed many or very serious crimes, have an 80% recidivism rate. Prosecuting these worst of the worst offenders not only holds them accountable for their past wrongs, it prevents them from committing future crimes. It makes our streets safer and our communities sleep more soundly at night. And ultimately, that is the goal of law enforcement. I want to take a moment to recognize the officers and agents who contributed to this operation. Not only did they safely apprehend 15 dangerous defendants yesterday, they meticulously investigated the defendants' criminal dealings so that we could charge them. An operation like this takes commitment of time, commitment of resources, and above all, psychological commitment, knowingly risking one's own personal safety to ensure the security of the community. That's why I'm proud to stand here today with the heads of these law enforcement agencies whose officers and agents carried out this critical operation. This case was almost exactly 2 years in the making. After yesterday, we're confident that it was worth it. Thank you.
So good morning. First of all, I just want to make a comment before I even start, is the fact that the relationships that we share with our federal partners, I think, are second to none in this country. To be able to stand here with our U.S. Attorney, FBI, Sheriff's Office, and other law enforcement agencies that assisted is extraordinary. There is one violent crime plan in the city of Dallas, and to have us all lock arms into that crime plan is extraordinary. Yesterday was a good day for Dallas, and I feel like a very fortunate chief to have these partnerships, so thank you very much. I'd like to thank the FBI, Dallas Field Office, Dallas County Sheriff's Department, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas, along with the other state and local agencies for their partnership in this 2-year-long investigation. It's through the great police work of our men and women and our agencies that we have violent criminals now behind bars and dangerous drug trafficking organization dismantled. The criminals involved in this enterprise terrorized our community, dealing deadly drugs, ultimately leading to other violent crimes. The men and women of our agencies, including members of the Dallas Police Department who work on the FBI task force, our gang unit, PNI, PSN, SWAT, worked tirelessly to bring this organization down, and Thursday safely took these individuals into custody. We're standing here today because of thousands of hours, I'll say that again, thousands of hours of our men and women that they have done in behind-the-scenes work. Surveillance, research, paperwork, time away from their families to build a case, charging nearly 24 people and making our streets safer. To our men and women, as has been said before, thank you. Your city thanks you. As I've said before, it takes us all to fight and prevent crime and criminal activity. Violent crime continues to trend downward in the city of Dallas, but this is not by accident. It is because of the hard work of our men and women in our agencies and the partnerships, along with our community support and city leader support, that we see the needle moving in the right direction. We are sharing intelligence and resources. We are working together on targeted police enforcement in our most violent areas. But we know that we cannot arrest our way out of violent crime. Our violent crime plan also focuses on improving quality of life through place network investigations and providing valuable resources to those who make a commitment to improve their life in a way through focused deterrence. Our partners in our plan on law enforcement side stand with us today. Thank you for all of our partners, law enforcement, city, and community leaders for focusing your resources and working with us to reduce violent crime in Dallas. These arrests should send a message to those who live in our city, who want to make this a safer place to live, work, and visit. And for those who break our laws, who prey on the innocent in our neighborhoods, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You know, we talk a lot about focused deterrence, and we talk a lot about the fact that if individuals want a better way of life, we want to extend that olive branch to make their lives better. And that was a promise we made. But the other promise we made as well is that we will bring justice and hold individuals accountable and rid our streets of the violent criminal element if you do not listen. That is not an idle threat, that is a promise. Most importantly, the residents of the city of Dallas deserve it. Thank you. Oh, okay. ¿Español? Okay. Ayer fue un buen día para la ciudad de Dallas. Con los recursos que nosotros tenemos, con nuestras agencias federales, pudimos arrestar 15 individuales que están sospechosos, que estaban en pandilla, que estaban vendiendo droga, que tenían armas ilegales y que estaban haciendo mucho daño y mucho peligro en las áreas de Sur Dallas, en Oak Cliff y South Oak Cliff. Nosotros vamos a prometer a nuestra comunidad esto, que vamos a usar todos los recursos que nosotros tenemos para mantener la paz en esta ciudad. Y esto fue un buen día para nuestra ciudad ayer. Gracias. Podemos hablar más después.
Good morning. I would just like to echo what it is that you have already heard, and that is that this is an excellent example of what collaboration and cooperation and partnerships look like. The leaders that you see before you are committed to keeping our communities safe, and we are proud to stand as a partner with our law enforcement agencies, and we will continue to work with them to keep our cities safe and to challenge those who would threaten that safety. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a few questions. Anybody? Yeah.
So, do you believe this is all part of the same organization, or are there multiple?
So there are multiple organizations in the sense that we did target facilitators. We wanted to cut the head off the snake, and so we're going after the top tier targets, and some of those top tier targets are related to obviously multiple organizations. So it was a combined effort.
And for somebody who doesn't know, describe what facilitators are.
Facilitators are those who are providing the narcotics that ultimately lead to this drug distribution. Those are individuals who are procuring or creating Glock switches on these firearms. Those are individuals who are obtaining firearms and then getting those into the hands of illegal criminals. Any others? Yep.
Muy bien, ¿cómo está?
Quisiera conocer exactamente cómo estaban organizadas, quiénes eran, edades, un rango de edades aproximadamente, de dónde eran, si eran locales, foráneos, y exactamente a quiénes estaban afectando, si eran nuestros jóvenes, porque estamos viendo una cualidad de que son jóvenes y están afectando jóvenes. Entonces, queríamos saber si se refiere a esta oportunidad.
Pues esta investigación tomó como 2 años. La gente que está aquí son local, vivieron en diferentes partes de nuestra ciudad, pero la área que estaba más afectada era la área de South Oak Cliff y Oak Cliff, y por ahí. Y no solamente estaban afectando a nuestros menores, estaban afectando a la comunidad entera con los problemas que están pasando. Yo he caminado en esos apartamentos, yo he caminado en esa parte de la ciudad, y hay mucha gente que están trabajando bien duro, que no quieren vivir alrededor del peligro que estaba pasando, porque estos sospechosos estaban responsables por eso. Y es algo que nosotros creemos, no hemos terminado, hay mucho más trabajo que tenemos que hacer, pero nosotros sentamos, especialmente ahora, como estamos en el verano, que es importante de nosotros que hicimos esta operación para parar esto ahora.
Hace unos minutos escuchaba que decían que la gente le agradecía a ustedes por haber hecho el trabajo, gente más segura. ¿Cómo fue ese feedback de la gente que es la mayoría de la gente?
Como él dijo, yo también estaba ahí ayer por la mañana, por la madrugada, y pasó un vecino que no quería decirlo, no lo quería decir tan claro para que la gente lo pueda oír, pero solamente gracias nos dijo. Y eso, cada operación que nosotros oficiales nos están haciendo en estas comunidades que están afectadas por la violencia, cada vez que ellos salen de ese vecindario, dicen que alguien, por lo menos alguien, siempre le dice gracias. Es algo que tenemos que seguir haciendo por esta ciudad.
Para concluir, hubo uso de la fuerza especial, que me resumí un poquito en español, que estuvo el grupo SWAT, estuvieron varios equipos, pero se utilizó la fuerza.
Bueno, teníamos que usar nuestros recursos porque estos sospechosos eran violentos, con muchas armas, vendiendo drogas y armas. No son una buena combinación. Teníamos que tener nuestros equipos que están preparados y que están entrenados para hacer estas clases de cosas. Y todo pasó sin nadie estar herido. Y eso es algo también que tenemos que tener mucho orgullo por eso también.
Mayor Chief Garcia, Special Agent Yarbrough, what's next? Do you continue working this plan? What's the next step?
Well, absolutely. I'll definitely let the chief comment on that. But our goal is, our commitment to the Dallas Police Department, the city of Dallas, and the surrounding communities is that we're going to continue to do exactly what we did in this case, and that's leverage all of our available resources to combat violent crime and target those most violent offenders, gangs, and criminal enterprises in our area.
I'll just add, this is a violent crime reduction plan, not a violent crime elimination plan. And by the fact that we took out this enterprise, there's a lot more work to be done. And so our detectives right now, again, I always say this, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, there's just another tunnel. So I can guarantee you, yes, for a short time, our detectives and our hardworking men and women are taking a deep breath. But you know what? Come Monday, they're back to work looking at who's next. And so that's what's next.
You targeted 47 grids. You said the 47 most violent areas of concern in the city.
That was the original. When the crime plan started, that was original. That number has fluctuated from anywhere from 47 to in the low 60s. And again, the way the violent crime is set up is we divided the city of Dallas into about 101,000 grids, and we impact grids that have led the city in violent incidents with regards to homicide, aggravated assault, or aggravated robbery. And those, it's not a feather in your cap to have a grid, but we base our grids on data, people, places, and activity. And that's how we determine where we focus our efforts. And as I made mention before, it is a dream come true when a police chief can sit with their federal partners and everyone understands there's one crime plan, not 3 different crime plans. And that makes us very, very efficient, and it culminates with the success that we had yesterday.
Take one more if anybody's got one.
What's the charge or penalty range for this when it comes to years in prison, fines?
It varies greatly depending on the charge, but for example, for felon in possession of a firearm, it's 15-year maximum, so they could get up to 15 years unless they're categorized as what's called an armed career criminal, and then it could go up, then it's a 15-year minimum. And on the drug charges, you could go 40 years or even higher depending on their criminal histories, because that puts them in a different statutory category. So very, very high ranges is what you're looking at. And as we like to reiterate, there's no parole in the federal system, so they'll be serving almost all of that time. So.
All right, thanks, everybody.